Let's make this one bigger too.
Ooh, I don't know what those are. Ooh, they're dirty. That's what those are. Try these. That's better. So I can see most of it here. Hello, calling anybody who cares.
No one's here yet. Oh, we got one.
Okay, say something. Who is out there? Demonology, are you awake today? How about all you guys from Czechoslovakia? And girls. One girl. There's one girl out there that watches this. Oh, talking race cars today, talking changing the oil. Mostly changing the oil. Hey guys, Canada. Welcome back. You're the only place colder than this place. Except for maybe Russia. But nobody from Russia is there. Oh, Kevin, what part of Canada are you in? It's a big place. I've been there. Hi, Maurice. But you got questions today? We're back live again. Later on, I got to take my wife out for dinner, so that's going to be exciting. Yeah, not really. Oh, is it Don Juan? I like it. You know, you spelled that incorrectly, right? Just saying. I think that's right. Yeah, we're just sitting here fixing cars. We got a new little Sport Track Ford thing in here that they don't make. It's a 463 valve. We'll be doing that next. Hi, Jersey. Javier. Good morning. Is it Amon? Okay, going with that. Creep style, Crandella. Savannah, Georgia. Yes, your weather's nicer than mine. Welcome to the show. Fabius, Prince. How we going? Big boy, how you doing? Nessie and Brian, how you doing? Oh, UK. Cool. Someday I got to go over there and see what's going on. My son got back from being over there for a trip. Come on, what's my daily driver? 97 Lexus LS 400 with 501,000 miles on it. Hi, King. I have a 24 to the Camaro. Hey, Bart, I have a 24 to Camaro SS 642. I don't know what that is. Sorry, Eric. Help me out. We're going to start on the Hellkeezy. Car was here for about 2 hours. Got a set of front brake pads. Got an oil change. And he has gone to Phoenix, as you probably noticed. And then he's supposed to bring it back sometime right around Christmas. And we are ready to rock and roll in that thing. Dallas, Texas. Love it down there. Scotty, your truck is... You just checked in your truck, Scotty. I was just talking about it. Good God. Did you stop bleeding yet, Scotty? Because I saw you in action with that little thing that wasn't too good. Hellcat. Yeah, Javier, that thing will work. Houston. King, how you doing? Florida, weather's always better. Yeah. 92 LS 400 best built cars out there. Yeah, you know, I paid $21.50 for my 97 with 200 rounds on it almost 10 years ago. So, shop build. I think I got my donor car with a 6.0 with my camshaft and a bunch of stuff to it that laid down 400 wheel. So we're ready to rock and roll on that. All I do is get the truck from the guy who smashed it up in the snowstorm a week ago. Eric, bought some cams from you about a month ago. Just installed the stage cams. My Mustang sounds incredible. Thanks again. You are welcome, Eric. Should make all kinds of cool noises and go really good too. You got a Stingray of school Corvette. We got. I just had a 71 big block home, and we got a 69 here for sale. I don't do those anymore. I'm too fat and old to get in and out of the car. Kind of looks stupid rolling out, rolling in. Saudi Arabia, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. God knows you got a nice area compared to this, although sometimes I know it gets hot over there.
Those are my people.
Oh, yeah. Hisham says hi. I guess you're his people. I don't know if he owns you or what the deal is. I can't tell you that. Scott, how you doing? Volkswagen bus with an LT4 Maurice? Holy balls. I could do it, but I'm trying to do something with that LS motor that we've got cranked up just because of the fact that it'd be something everybody else can do at home. Doing that bus is going to be reinforcing this and changing that, and be a lot of money, and it's not a lot of fun for people because I can do anything, but I'm trying to make something that other people can do too. 442 Oldsmobile. Love 442 Oldsmobiles. Terrific. Done a bunch of them. They need a 468, 550 horse thing. Works really good. If it's a later one, then I can still fix. V6 Penstars or 5. Oh, got to do the 5.7. Don't do a V6, man. That's just don't do it. You know, I get weird about that stuff. Want to bring my Chrysler to you, Challenger? Yep. My week, Scott. You can find me. I'm ready. He does the lower pulley wobbling need. Yes. If it's put a straight edge on it, a dial indicator, and see how far it's coming unglued. Eric, the problem is if it's spinning on the crank itself, it's going to wobble real bad, and eventually it's going to make an absolute mess. Get rid of that thing. See you, Jim.
No, I'm not going.
Oh, you're not going. Jim's not going. All right. Car front end wreck. Front ends aren't as bad, Eric, as the rest of it, but you better make sure that thing is not tearing the snout of the crankshaft into little pieces. Or just bring it to me and I figure it out for you. GTR will beat the Hellcat. If the Nissan GTR is stock when I get done with the Hellcat, with the Hellkz, the answer is no. Heads up, depends on what the tires are. GTR is an excellent, excellent car and takes off really good. So it's down on power a little bit, but it's a little lighter than what we're working with. Best muscle car for the price. Geez, I got to tell you, I think an 09 on up Challenger 5.7 with good cylinder heads on it, that's a freaking bargain. 10 grand, you can fix them up for not a lot of money. They go really good. They lead up a 6.4. They will not take out a Hellcat. If you got a little bit more cash type stuff, the Hellcats are down in that 40, 45 area. The GT500s, Shelbys, the early ones, 07, 08, they're 25 grand. They're a cool car, but they're all sticks. And, of course, LS1 Corvettes are the cheapest bargain going. They're easy to modify, so 97 on up. Hi, Solomon. How you doing? Jason, what you working on, boss? Oh, I'll run the camera in the back. We've got a half dozen cars back there we're doing. Next week, we're going to do a transmission replacement. We got a young lady going to do a transmission replacement in her Camaro race car. So we'll be filming that. What kind of exhaust can I get with Q56 to make it slightly louder or not too loud? Just take out one of the resonators. Do one at a time if you want it louder. I think that's kind of a mistake because that's really a cool run around truck car thing, but loud is just loud. LS swap on Audi. You know, we had a guy that did one of those things. I've never seen such a nightmare in my life with all the wiring and stuff, and this didn't work, and that didn't work, and of course gauges didn't work, and this didn't shift, and that didn't work. It was a freaking nightmare. I'd rather shoot one of my testicles off. Let's see. Message retracted from Jason. Okay. Try it again, Jason. Can you put a Corvette engine in an 84 box? Sure. That's easy. 84 box Chevy? Sure. I'd rather do a 496, but sure. Getting big on YouTube. Well, I don't know about that, Javier, but we're really busy. We're fixing a lot of stuff. Comes in from a lot of different shops for people that just want their stuff done and they like it here. We just had our coffee clutch here. We had all the old guys sitting around having coffee, talking smart. So that was first five minutes. No, 3 or 4 hours this morning. Got the floors clean though too. MMA fighter Bart, what's going on, brother? Hey, I'm just sitting here and I think that MMA is terrific, and I don't want anybody that wants to hit me in the face. So I applaud your actions there, but remember, he's trying to kill you as much as you're trying to kill him. Okay? It hurts. Did you hear about the red eye? Oh, sure. I've got the build sheet from Chrysler itself on the red eye Challenger. I think it's the neatest thing ever. It's almost as good as the Demon, but does not have the some of the transmission things going on. There's a couple things it does not have, but it's a bargain. Whipple style blower for 5.7. Yeah, I think there's a screw charger out there between which 5.7 you're talking about. You're talking about the old ones, the old Vortec headed stuff. They're pretty much obsolete. You can check with Whipple or Kenny Bell. They might have one, but don't do that one that sits off the side with use the extra injectors. That's a pain in the ass. Of course, I could make anything. It's not that big a deal. I don't watch Street Outlaws. I got to tell you, after I do cars for 12 hours a day, you know what I do when I get home? Anything but cars. How do your love for cars start? Oh, I was just one of those kids in high school that the freedom of having a car was too crazy for me. And I had motorcycles and snowmobiles growing up. I was tinkering with stuff, pulling stuff apart, trying to put it back together. And the car thing just kind of followed naturally. You get the freedom of being able to run around at a high rate of speed. And, it's weird. I tell people all the time, I think about what the suspension's doing as I'm turning and how things are going. And I taught my kids to drive the same way. So I guess there's at least 3 of us that are screwed up. 09 Challenger 5.7, Scott. Yep, great car. 09, great cylinder heads. Put a camshaft in it. You'll be happier than all get out. What's a better starting platform, 5th gen, SS, or 2010 and up? Challenger 5.7, both manuals. They're almost exactly the same, surprisingly enough. I was talking to one of the engineers that did the Hemi motor, and they swap stuff back and forth with GM all the time about that. They were looking at each other's stuff. And, I think they're both too freaking heavy. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They both need the same thing. I would say depending on which set of cylinder heads you've got, I think you probably have the LS3 Challenger, or 2010 SS. Take a bunch of weight out. Both cars will run. I think I like the 5th gen SS is going to be a 6.2. I take the extra cubes, I guess. I would suggest I put in my 97 Crown Vic. I want to go bigger. What was originally in it? I've done a bunch of weird stuff on Crown Vics. I would flat out tell you to go look for a 4-valve motor, toss it in there, and put one of the screw chargers in it that are still available out there to buy. It's the only thing to get the fat ass out of the way of that car. I would tell you to do something else. It's a neat car, but it's too small of cubes, and they ain't worth anything. I miss the 426 Hemi thing. Louise, how you doing? Jimmy Fizz, Disability, which I look for, 2000 Firebird. Camaro, yep, I like the automatics and put gears in them. The SS is pretty cool. And, cool thing. 98 on up is just fine, but I prefer the Firebird to the Camaro. Louise, how you doing? What's good? Hoping the steak tonight at dinner is going to be good. I might do pasta instead. First car, 67, Javier, 67 Impala Super Sport 283 car, black. I broke that bad. From 10 to 20K by Jaron. People must know who you are. It's been going really good, but what really happens is that when Corey comes over, the thing just goes nuts. Everybody's watching Corey, then they come watch me. They go, oh, shit, he's not that much fun. He's an old grumpy white dude. I get it. That's what I am. Well, Louise, bring your car over. I can work on your car. He said, I'll put you to work back there with my technicians. I do that for people. You want to see how tough this shit is? Come on in the wintertime. Summertime, can't do it. Booked up for 4 to 6 weeks minimum. Z06 motor and 96 Firebird. What do you think? I think the 96 Firebird had an LT1 motor, which is horrible. A lot of work with the Z06. You can buy that car already done for a lot less than you can try to fix it. I would just buy a Z06. I don't know if you're talking about the early one, the 01, 02, or if you're talking about the later one with the dry sump motor 427. Either way, I would just buy the car that had the motor in it, modify it. The 96 Firebird's pretty much had the course. There's too many things that go goofy on those things. 09 Challenger, yep, Scott, let's see, fighting for 3 years. MMA and cars, my life, but besides that, I'm a big fan. Well, I appreciate that. Just be safe. When you figure out that you're getting hit more than you're hitting people and it's starting to hurt too much, that means you're getting older and don't heal as fast, kind of like me. Bleed Blue, cammed up my Mustang with your cams. Now I need to cam my 31801 Ram. Okay, so I can do a 318 setup for you. However, I got to make sure I got software to tune it. The big thing about that is high lift, short duration, not a lot of overlap with the truck. Otherwise, it's going to be a mutt to drive. So you end up with something like a 220, 224, 600, 600, and put on a 114. Would work really good in the 318 motor. Remember, it's still a 318. The cylinder heads are shitty. They'll probably get me banned by YouTube again. They did this last time. The new Helifont, I think it's going to be a great motor. Just want to make sure they got all the bugs worked out before I toss one in a car and somebody's pissed when it breaks. Too expensive. What is the average price to cam a 5.7 and a 300? I'm going to run you $3,750, everything inclusive, before and after dyno runs, camshaft, springs, locks, retainers, push rods installed, everything. Everybody wants to know what the bottom line is. That includes tax. And, of course, you get all your dyno sheets. Like to do business with you, Louise. I'm right here. Come see me. Come see me. Jimmy Fizz, how you doing? You're welcome. John Gutierrez, how are you? Aren't all of us old guys grumpy? Yeah, you know, pretty much, unless you got some kind of weird chemical thing going. I got a couple guys that come in here, and I swear to God, they've been, I don't know what they're taking during the day, but I think they kind of urinate like fluorescent colors because some guys are really, really happy. I don't get it. JR, probably don't remember me. I visited you last week about my black 11 Charger Pursuit. No, I remember you. Sounded fast taking off. Jesus Christ, don't get arrested. That'd be bad. It's tough to get arrested in a cop car, but I got a feeling, JR, you might be able to make that work. How you doing, Lewis? Let's see. Big OG Bart 100. I can't see it. I have no idea what that means. Remember, I'm technology kind of limited here, and I live and die with computers and cars and carburetors and stuff like that. But all this stuff on the internet, I got to make Hisham comes out and sets me up. Biz, I'm just going live with everybody and having fun. Like to talk to people all over the world. It's kind of cool. Thought about building a rock crawler. Done that already for guys. The big thing about a rock crawler is it's got to have absolutely good torque, real easy to drive, cannot be peaky. You know, big suspension, big tires, all that stuff. It's kind of expensive stuff, and for me, it's kind of like, okay. For the day they released the Chrysler 300, 392 SRT8. Okay. I make the regular 300 make more than any 392, and the 392 motor has proven to be a little bit fragile. Country boy, what's up? Talking to people all over the country and the world. I like it. Thanks, Canada. Not mad at you guys in Canada, really. Although the French make me pissed once in a while about World War II, but we'll get over that. Love the wine in France instantly. What do you think of a 2014 Ram regular cab to mod out? Maybe put a Charger on it? Yes. I did one of those for one of the Vikings guys here 6-7 years ago. Fixed another one. Works really good. Works with a regular camshaft. You pick up 200 foot-pounds of torque down at 2,000 RPM where you need it. Oh, 100 means we cool. Thank you. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, Vic. I'm glad one of us has got this figured out. One Deep Mechanic. How you doing? Remember that from before. How you doing? Small car guy, review mechanic. Sitting here having fun. How are you? JR, I wanted to be with you to get that sucker fixed up. Yeah, car solid's fast. I think you're pretty much on your way to do whatever you want to do, but it sounds pretty tough when you left. Oh, I was busy Friday. Sorry about that, small guy. Sorry about that. I get people in here all the time. They start stacking up, especially Fridays. Mondays are good. Nobody calls me Mondays. I mean, Mondays, especially with snow in here. If you watch your weather report and we're having like 12 inches of snow, I'll be the only idiot at work just because I don't want to stay home with the wife all day. Jesus, you're driving me crazy.
Next week is going to be sunny, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Next week sunny?
Yep.
Okay. Guess I'll be here, and Friday will be busy, but I'll be back online with everybody, I guess, unless Hisham doesn't show up, in which case someday I'm going to figure this out for myself, guys. What mods can get a 392 Charger run mid-11s that won't break the bank? I don't say what a Charger. Going to need gears, so that's going to run you that $800 for the full pumpkin setup, and probably a camshaft. That'll probably get you into the 12s, 11s with a set of drags on it, but you're still looking at dropping, $5-6 grand on the thing, and you go right to a Charger for 10. But you're going to run about 5 pounds of boost before they want to spit the top ring lands out. I would tell you flat out, one tool low G, too long, too law, whatever. The 392, just go in and get a Hellcat or a Red Eye. Then your problems are over, except for the payment. Hey, Vic, let's see. Brandon Elam, how's your day going so far? Pretty good, but it's early. I mean, you never know what's going to happen next, if somebody's going to drive in and hit the building or something like that. Have you installed those new Victor Jr. heads for the new Gen Hemis? I have not, and I'll tell you why. The new Gen Hemis, unless it's like an 08 or older, The Eagle heads are so damn good. I'm not going to spend my customers' money on stuff that's not going to help them. Unless we're doing something where you got to have every less horsepower in the world, I would do the stock heads and save them money because I'm cheap. I'll never, ever spend your money or my money on stuff that doesn't work and you don't need. Hey, Thomas, going good. Average price for installing new exhaust system. Depends what you want to do. I can do the catback for about $250. If you need headers and things like that, it's $750. They suck to do for the headers. And the mid pipe, whatever you pick up, it's not a big deal. But you can figure between $1,000 and $1,200 to an installation on whatever exhaust you want to do, Luis. So, but the manifolds are really good on your car, Luis. That thing rips. So let's not get carried away with spending a bunch of money. If you're looking for sound, we can probably do that without putting a bunch of money in it. Oakland, California, what's up? You're in a lot nicer place than I am. Let's face reality here, except for the fires. Which Oakland, I think you're okay in Oakland. Jump, you can go in the bay. 99 Eclipse GS Spider 2.4 motor, what could you do to it? I got to tell you, they're fragile. I've been through this before with these cars. John, my top technician, has one of those things that, it's not a Spider though, it's a, anyways, big turbo making 60 pounds or 50 pounds of boost. He breaks shit all the time. They're just too fragile for me. I tell you, Javier, just let's get together and get you something that'll rip and you can have fun with it. It's not going to break and we can play with those. Eclipses are a lot of fun to drive. I get that, but you put a lot of power down with them and they'll break everything between. They'll break the motor, they'll break the transmission, they'll break the half shafts. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes wrong. Can you put a Hellcat motor in a 300 and what would be the cost? Yep, I can do that. And I haven't thought about that yet, but I don't think if I've got a complete donor set up from Dodge that it'd be that bad to do. I mean, it's a couple, $3,000 to install everything, but hooking it all up could be exciting. Transmission, depending on which transmission, you've got to get the 5-speed. It will not hold up to the Hellcat motor. ProCharger, Supercharger, or twin turbo. I wouldn't put a ProCharger on if it was the last thing on this planet. ProCharger's probably going to be pissed. I got another one in back that's all dicked up because the bracket's bent. People try to put shit together. If you got to do it MMA, go to a twin turbo. I prefer the screw charger. Oh, X-Rex, sorry for the caps. My keyboard is broken. You know, I don't take offense to that because I used to send, because it's easier for me to read because my eyes are bad. And I'd always send it in caps. And people are like, what? Why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you, dude. I just can't read my own freaking writing. Kevin, hey, having fun talking to everybody. This is a lot of fun for me, for us old guys. Is my email working? Should be. Tried emailing, says it's not allowing it to be delivered. Huh. All right, the email is Bart, B-A-R-T, at Hitech, H-I-T-E-C-H, Motorsport. Don't put an S on the end, Hayden. It will not work. Motorsport.com. Should come right to me. Huh?
You can find it on the description on the channel, too.
Okay, Hisham says it's in the description, but I just gave it to you twice, so that's the old-fashioned way, or Hisham's way is probably better. Is it worth deburring my heads at home and cleaning up? Depends which heads you've got, and it's always a little bit worth it to do the intake ports and take off some of the casting crap going on, but I wouldn't take them off to do it. If it's the big set of Eagle heads or the Apaches or whatever you got, they'll make more power and flow more air than the cubic inch motors that's underneath it. Awesome. Yes, I'm looking for sound. Oh, Luis, we'll just do some work on taking some resonator and mufflers off until you like it. And you know, Howard asked about our headers worth it on a 392 Charger. No. Yeah, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? I mean, you know, I'll beat around the bush. Just, you know, no. Manifolds are awesome on that car. Better ProCharger or Supercharger for a 98 GT Mustang. All right, Brandon, here you go. I'm going to give you this. ProCharger is a Supercharger. I lost you here. What was the Charger, Supercharger? Okay, ProCharger is a Supercharger. Screw Charger works better. If you can find one, that'd be my first choice. Brandon, number one is go buy a GT500. They're only about 20, 25 grand now. They got a supercharger on them, a screw charger on them. They go great. They don't have any real defects. Just go do that. Stop trying to beat that poor 98 GT Mustang into a coma. I like it just fine, but let's get something that's going to cost you less in the long run and go a hell of a lot faster. See, that's why I like and respect you. You're honest and do honest work. Well, appreciate that. I just want to make sure there's a lot of bad information out on the internet, and I don't mind taking people's money when I do a good job, but I don't want people pissed off at the end. And if I know something isn't going to work, I will flat out tell you it's not going to work, and I'm not going to do it. It just, nobody's happy at the end. Nobody. Fox Mustang pushrod versus Coyote swap. Sure, but you can make a Fox Mustang motor work really good. I would actually, in a Fox, I love putting the 460 motor puked out to board and stroke to 555. They make a complete kit for it. And I'll tell you what, 555 cubes, about 750 or 800 horse and 800 foot-pounds of torque. That thing will rip it and grip it. It's a little heavy in the beak. I get it. You don't care. If you got that much power, it'll work. Worked on Hellcat. Everybody writing caps. Okay. All right, Lunatic. Appreciate that. Yeah, you can go in caps. That's great. I can read it better. That's cool. I really do much to an 08 Chevy Cobalt. Could I? No, that's a great car for just running back and forth at 35 mpg, but it was designed as an economy cruiser. Let's not get carried away with that. All we're going to do is break shit, and you're going to get beat by V8s anyhow. Thank you. This is the Torque Tech screw chargers fit on a Crown Vic. I don't know. Any bolt-on screw charger kits for them? Call the guys at Kenny Bell and see if they've got one for the 96 to 98. I know there were some flying around. They make a 119 blower, a smaller blower, and that's really all they can take anyhow. Videos with Corey and I are the best. Learn a lot from your videos. You're very informative, Bart. Thanks. You guys better upload when you race demonology. Oh, you can bet your ass. And if Corey wins, there's going to be a whole lot of weird stuff going on. So be prepared for demonology to give me the look and the finger. Demonology is a good guy. What do you think about tall guys ramp? I think the tires are too big. I think it makes a lot of noise. I think everything is blacked out and he gets pulled over a lot. It gets shitty gas mileage because of what he did. Truck goes good. I mean, it's just a truck. It needs a screw charger. We've talked about it, and he wanted to do the Hellcat motor in there, and I'm like, yeah, let's just stick with a couple things at a time here. Let's see. WHA spark plugs would you use for performance and gas saving? Spark plugs won't save you any gas. That's kind of an old wives' tale, and people say that kind of stuff, Darius. I use all NGK stuff here. I probably put 25,000 plugs through their shop since 2000 and never had a failure. So I use NGK stuff. Korea, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I don't know what you've got for racetracks over there, but sounds like a fun place to be. I guess the food's pretty good. What lapping compound do you use? I've just been using Permatex for a while. Yeah, that stuff works. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. Now, remember, your lapping compound will have different grit to it. So when you're doing that, you usually start with something a little bit greener, depending on if your guy's any good with his when he cuts the seats and stuff like that, and then lap them in from there and go to a finer compound at the end. And then double check your work by taking and squishing the stuff, putting the valves down and then spraying brake clean inside. Make sure it does not leak and you cannot see air around it or light from a light. We'll do it. I'll contact you. Yep, I'll be right here, Louise. Small guy car reviews. Yeah, exactly. That's how I am. That's why I'm building my own shop. Go get them. There's not enough technicians, good technicians. There's some guys that are kind of cutthroats and liars, and I won't go into who they are. Everybody knows them, and they talk a better game, and then shit doesn't work. What's your thought on electric exhaust cutouts instead of a muffler delete? Okay, Rob, cutouts, no matter what they keep saying about how they've made these actually work, these actually work, these actually work. I do not install electric cutouts anymore because you're running 1,000 degrees exhaust through an electric motor area, and they always stick. It's not if they're going to stick. It's when they're going to stick. And then people are like, oh, you got to fix them for free. Oh, God, you got to do this. Nope. Get your muffler with your sound. If you want to do that, great. If you want to do an electric cutout, do that yourself. They're great when they work, and they suck when they don't. Seen them melted and bent and broke and carboned up and shit. Yeah, Rob, don't do that. I'm getting a Hellcat soon. Can't do much with this Cobalt. Perfect. Sign up for that red eye. Just pay the extra bucks on red eye. Find somebody that'll run you a red eye for, somewhere near, give them a couple days and run it somewhere near, get below sticker, get on that invoice type number. They'll come down. Ducati motorcycles, absolutely love them. I used to have crotch rockets all the time in my younger days, but I'm too old and I can flat out tell you, I know that my reaction times suck now. And here in Minneapolis, we have a bunch of people that drive with their feet up on the dash. They're texting all the time. And then when these kids run people over, then they slap them on the wrist. And there's 2 people dead here just a little bit ago. And the girl got off with probation, which I thought was completely wrong. She took a truck out and ran over a dad and little kid in a minivan, and she got off with probation because she was just had to be freaking texting. Nothing so important in this world that can't wait 10 minutes. Let's see, Luis, a big smile. Use copper spray on your head gaskets if there's pitting. Absolutely. Felpro says not because they have blue coating. I use a lot of Felpro, but I like spraying a little bit of copper gasket, copper spray, only on a little bit if you've got the MLS gaskets. If they're a regular sealing type gasket, I do not use it. I make sure the surface is proper and then just put them down. Works out fine. Connections in Alabama. I got one customer that goes back and forth there all the time, but I don't know anybody in Alabama. Sorry, lunatic. Let's see. 09 Challenger RT, what kind of Whipple style blower can I use? Everybody makes one for your 09 RT. Works like a champ. We just use the 2.3 from Edelbrock because we do them all the time. I've had 0 failures. They're quiet. Nothing goes wrong. I can make 750 horsepower, which is about the point where everything else breaks. That's at the crank. 750 horse, and that's where everything else starts to break anyhow, and that's more than enough without changing transmissions and rear ends and drive shaft and half shafts and everything else. Would you do a supercharger on a 5.7 or 6.4 Hemi? Which supercharger would you go with? And how much boost can they handle on stock internals? Okay, 2 different cars, 2 different motors for sure. 6.4 Hemis are fragile. They're already 10.5, almost 11 to 1. I run 5 pounds of boost. I always use screw chargers. You guys can put that in your book. I'll use an Edelbrock. I'll use a Whipple. I'll use a Kenny Bell. I do not do anything with Vortec. I do not do anything with ProCharger. I get it. ProCharging being happy with me, and Vortec, you guys too. But bent brackets, I got 2 of them I got to fix. I've been screwed around by other places. It's horrible. 5.7 can run out 9 to 10 pounds of boost. It's just a little bit tougher motor for some reason. Once again, I do the 2.3 Edelbrock on either one of those 2, and they'll make all the power you can without breaking everything in sight. We do them all the time. Chase, what's going on? You're an awesome guy. Thank you. One question, though. Are you ultimately a Ford or Chevy guy? I've owned everything, quite honestly, almost every car. The only one I would never buy again, I won't buy English cars. I had a Rolls Royce, and I'll tell you that story sometime. It'll make you cry. I've got all that stuff, and they're always broke. Every one of those Ford, Chevy, Dodge, everybody's got their own really cool cars. The stuff is, you can go down the line, some of the Ford 27 Ford stuff. I've never had a Cammer motor, though. Always wanted one, can't afford that. I love the 69 Mach. There's a lot of stuff out there, man. Chevy stuff, first car, big Dodge stuff. I've had Hemi cars. They don't drive as good as everybody says they do. The 383, 440 stuff drives better. I've had all that stuff. I can flat out tell you, it's the way the car makes you feel when you drive it. When you get behind the wheel, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, Lexus, don't care. Ferrari, Lambo. When you get behind the wheel, your persona is what makes a difference to you and what's going on around you. You got to decide what you like. My guy Greg Nelson of the Ponderosa just bought a 61 300G convertible with a 413 Cross Ram in it. And I got to tell you, that isn't the coolest thing I've ever seen since sliced bread. I just figured out I got to pay the guy for 12 years at $1,000 a month to get the freaking car. Sounds bad, doesn't it? What can I do to my truck with a 6-inch lift? Do anything you want to it. I don't know what you want to do. It needs all the power it can get after you put a 6-inch lift that high off the ground. JR says going to see me next week. And okay. Car so I can make some investments. No problem. I'll be right here. Did Mr. Organic try to get with your woman? No, he's a stand-up guy. Plus, he's so damn busy with he's a busy guy. I mean, good God. If anybody was going to go out and find a date, he's got no problem with anybody out there. Are Hellcats really that good? GT500 better car. What do you think? Hellcats have the advantage of the screw charger on top. The GT500's got the disadvantage of having only a stick. I like both cars. Hellcats are double the price. Just is. I mean, they're a little bit different. The good news on a GT500 is you can get convertible, which I love convertibles. You know that. GT500 has a charger on top of it too. Different feeling car entirely. The Hellcat's a little bit bigger car. I guess, man, that's one's convertible stick or automatic hardtop. It's got to be where you got to. It's whatever you want to do. Are those red MSD coil packs worth the money? Hell no. Okay, don't even go there. Stock coils work great. Don't be sending money to MSD because when they fail, you got to send money to MSD again. Hellcat RAM power, they should have done it before, actually. I just keep my RAM and should have you build it. The RAM I give you will make more horsepower than the RAM that you can buy, and it'll be less money because I think they're at $100,000 on that RAM with a charger on it. Cool truck. 100 grand's 100 grand, baby. I see the show, Graveyard Cars. Yep. Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is really true or not because most of those Hemi cars have been restored. Tough to find one that isn't done, and I get it. They got a TV show to make. 440 workhorse for Mopar like the 5.7 isn't presently. I think the 383 is more like the 5.7. I'm going to say that the 440 was more like the 6.1, a little more giddy up type stuff. But the 383 was kind of the workhorse there. Mr. Organic's Corvette. I like Corvettes just fine. It's a little bright for me with that yellow, high impact yellow wrap on it. And I'm kind of more about cruising back at 80 miles an hour than trying to attract every police officer's attention going down the highway. I just don't need the hassle. Oh, the name of the spark plug is N as in Nancy, G as in George, K as in Kilo, NGK. They're Japanese. What about the 2006 LS motor with screw charger? Okay, so the 6.0 2000, you can run to about 600 horse, but 7 or 8 pounds of boost before you get the top ringland start getting weird. It's never the rods will stay together as long as you don't detonate the piss out of it. It's always the pistons that go to hell. You can also just go and put a camshaft into it, and they'll make 500 and some horsepower at the crank and run really good. We do those all the time. I got one sitting out back right now. Sticker and automatic. I got to tell you, Scott, the automatics are so good now. I prefer the automatic. If I was going to road race, I'd use a stick. But for everyday driving, the automatics have gotten much, much better than when I was growing up with a Power Glide. Okay. What mileage is too much to throw a supercharger on 5.7 Hemi? Higher mileage and precautionary things. Always got to run good fuel, premium gas. And I've had superchargers on 5.7 Hemis with 150,000 miles on them. No breakage so far. If they're not clicking and clacking and carrying on from the DOD thing, you can do whatever you want to do. I haven't seen many of those die unless people don't take care of them. Like they don't change the oil ever. Always screws them up. NGK, there you go. Will the resonator delete provide a deeper exhaust note? Secondary cat's already gone. What about drone? The big thing, the resonator, taking that out will add about 10% sound. It won't get you a deeper drone, but it will be a deeper tone. But it's about 10% louder. The muffler itself is the one that makes the biggest difference, and then things do get droney inside. Am I wearing an undershirt? Nope, don't do that. This is what I do, and I wash these things every day. I'm kind of furry, and I can go inside, outside with my Fluffy on my Columbia. And Lewis Arts, how you doing? Lopez, Dave, YouTube, how you doing? Modern Zeal, keeping it 100. Maybe we should make something else new. How about a 200? All right, I didn't know about that. We ever come to Boston? My kid lives in Boston, my oldest. He's got a new baby. I make him come out here because I'm busy running the shop all the time. But I love Boston, except for the traffic. I like the food. So, I took an old head stud and grinded down slots inside to make a cleaning tab instead of buying the expensive ARP stud cleaning tab. Seems to work good. No, you can try that. Not my favorite, but the way that not only with the tap, it directs the chunks of crap up and out at the same time. Make sure you clear that out. I'm not a big, you can buy taps anywhere. You don't buy ARP. You can get it from anywhere. They tell you the size. Shouldn't cost you more than like $10. Any cheap engine mods worth doing to a 3.6 V6 with the 8-speed? No. And cold air intake will help you, but man, you're fighting it uphill. Thanks, and it's easier and cheaper. I get it. You can do what you want to do. Sure. Bearball, Lopez, Brazil. Cool. Once again, a nicer place with weather than here. Of course, that's pretty much everything. Doing auto swaps on GT500s. You know, I believe that about the GT500s and the automatics. I also think that you're actually going to devalue the car because it didn't come that way. So I'm a little bit edgy about that. Those clutches work so good in those cars, those dual discs. They're really nice. They're really not that bad to shift around, but it is just the way they came. Charger Hellcat. Sure. Javier, I love Charger Hellcats. I've got an extra set of doors. Throw grandma in the back. Yeah, not going to do that. Leave her home. I want you to drill into the crank for their supercharger installs. Yeah, you know what? That's just to make sure it's pinned correctly, Maddie. We have to do that too because we're worried about it rolling over and just tearing the front snout off the crank. I know it's a pain in the ass. I get it. You got to do something. You got to pin it. King Triumph on the channel. Hey, King. Thank you. Content awesome. Thank you, Hayden. Figure laugh out loud. Thanks, though. Cat's 33. Cat's 33. Cool. Shibadizzle Ola. Okay, Ola. Small car. Just go to part. Call you Monday and get a few questions. Sure. Darius Perry. How you doing? Manual swap on a Charger 300C. Nope. No. I don't know if I'd ever do that because I'm not sure it's really necessary. It's going to be really expensive to do. I'd have to get a donor car and start over. I just don't think for the money it's worth it. I would just as soon, I'll get you something with a stick. I'm going to do a Hellcat. Probably costs the same amount when we get it done. Let's see. Good mods for a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP 3.8 Supercharge. Okay, you got to work on the exhaust. You got to put a pulley on it, get the quick release thing. There's all kinds of guys that do that. Forget the camshaft. The blower is going to be the limiting factor. Cold air intake and a exhaust system. They'll make about 325, 350, and then guys like, well, I got 450 on mine. Great. We'll see when it blows the tops off the motor. It's not good. But you can make them 325 pretty good, and then the transmissions live okay on the half shafts up front. But, you know, braking stuff's a drag. Any cars you hate working on? Every once in a while, somebody brings in one. I don't really, yeah, you know what? I said a guy yesterday with a Cadillac STS4 with a North Star motor in it and all-wheel drive, and somebody else had cobbled up a bunch of wiring, and it had 30 codes in it. So we had to redo a bunch of wiring, and the car's worth about $10. And I told the young man, I said, you know, I understand your zeal for life and things like this, but go buy something that actually is going to work because you're in college type stuff. I just don't like working on stuff because I end up chasing it forever, and then it comes back in 3 weeks and goes, well, there's a code on again. Let's something different. There's some cars that are good cars that don't have as many mechanical issues or are well thought out. There's other cars that are just shitty, and that's one that's just shitty. Chevy, Ford, or Dodge. Like them all. And there's some that they make like Dodge Neon. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Ford Fiesta. Not happy about that. Chevy Vega. Great with a small block in it. I had one that did not, and not so good. My name is Adam, but that's a nickname, and I laughed my ass off. Okay. Brazil, São Paulo. Sorry about that. I'm not a Sao Paulo. Welcome to the channel. Best kind of air intake for 3.6 V6 Avenger. Just go with the one from, oh God. I don't think Spectre makes one, but They're all about the same, really. Just take all the humps and bumps out and let it go and try not to pay too much money. 11-second Challenger, manual, full bolt-on or cam and tire possible. Not 11-second flat. I can get you into the 11s. I've done it already. Cam, gears, exhaust, cold air intake, tune, and a big set of drags from Mickey Thompson will get you in the 11s. But it will not be 11 flat. Let's see. Ooh, supercharged Lunatic, supercharged 542V. What's the downsides of this engine? Small bore, small valves on the cylinder heads, limited flow. You know, making a lot of boost, not a lot of power. Not a lot of downside to that thing. It likes to have the oil changed, and the camshafts run in aluminum saddles up top. They don't have any bearing material in there. Bart, always going to pick Dodge over everything. Lewis, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I've gone through all the phases of my career, and I've had just about everything. And as long as you stay away from English cars like Mercedes or Rolls-Royce stuff, you'll be fine. Clutch jobs on manual Hellcats yet? I have not. Most of the guys don't have any problems with them unless they're trying to really slip them when they're doing drag racing, which is very hard on them. Okay. Lucas says I'm sexy. Very sexy. You know, you're about the only person to appreciate the vote of confidence, but I think my sexy days are behind me. Way behind me. Let's see. Neon SRT4, good car for the money. They go really good. They're like a Jack the Giant Killer type thing. They're fragile as hell because you try to whip them up. They torque steer like a bastard. I've done a bunch of those back in the day. So I don't know. Hi, Bart, talk guy. Tall guy sent me. Okay. Hey, Jalen. SRT4, I think you can do a better job. They're pretty expensive. They're kind of a cult car now. I'd be more inclined to get a SS whatever or a 5.7 Challenger 09 and earlier. Ford GT 500, 5-liter Ford, you know, something like that. The ladies love me. Yeah, play on player. Yeah, you keep thinking that. They love me because I can change oil in their car and fix stuff. Just that's kind of my bag of tricks now. If they don't find you handsome, they should find you handy, as they say on one of the comedy shows. Afternoon, Santa. Thanks. You know, the beard thing, I get it. My person who cut my hair said I'm getting some big white streaks going on. I should think about perhaps coloring them up. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And what's up? Do it, Dame. Yeah, sure. Right. Lexus ES330 2005 or the motor marks hard to change. No, they're not so bad. I mean, do it on a hoist. It's sucky to do on the floor, but they're not so bad. You can jump on to a real-time labor guide and take a look at the hours. The login for me is P as in Paul, P Hamilton 01, and then the sign-in is Bartman, B-A-R-T-M-A-N. It'll let you look at all the hours for doing everything. So give that a shot. Let's play. Good evening, everyone. Hi there. Let's see. What kind of car do you use? I got the Lexus. Remember the 97? I got a pickup truck and a bunch of other stuff. But the Lexus puts on all the miles. Chevy swap, 6.0 or LS362. Oh, always the LS362's got the bigger bore with the bigger cylinder heads. If you can afford the 6.2, it's more money. Works like a champ. I love the 6.2. Where can I get a screw charger for my Marauder? That's for you, I think.
Yeah.
Hisham's got mail coming to his own computer. What a dick. No, I'm kidding. A screw charger for my Marauder. You know, the last guy that we did this for had to look for one on eBay that was a takeoff off of a Cobra 0304. And we made the extra brackets and stuff like that, and it worked out okay. Yeah, it's Javier, you're probably right. I can flat out tell you that my wife, if I'm like a dog chasing a car, if it ever stopped long enough for me to date it, I wouldn't know what to do. Let's see, what motorsports do you follow? You know, not a whole lot. I touch on a bunch of different stuff going on. I kind of watch the rules and everything, but flat out, 6 days a week, I'm busy doing everything else for everybody, and I don't have time to do anything. And I'm not a big follow the leader motorsport guy. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, go fast, turn left. Hey, go straight, slow down. Let's see. Worst cars to put money into, you see regular at the shop. Cadillac was bad. People show up with V6s, and I have to talk to them for, I guess not. People show up with some V6 stuff, and I kind of turn them away. Most cars are okay. Once in a while, like I got one in back now that's been touched by everybody. I'm going to have a bunch of, you know, they're just bad cars. They're just been screwed with too much. I like the input on the 2 Marauders you did. Yeah, we got that stuff up there for you. What else we got? Let's see. Watch a video regarding cam specs, but when choosing a cam for driving experience, is a max effort, max ET fun to drive on the street, or would you want an entirely different cam for that low end? Yes, every camshaft is designed with the engine, the cylinder head, the exhaust, the gear ratio, and more importantly, what the vehicle is being used for. We talk about that all the time, and I love people that just throw a cam for a Camaro into a truck and they expect it to work, and it runs like a box of ass. It just happened the other day here. You know, the guy was online and bought a big camshaft that I put into a 5.7 LS motor with long tubes cold air, and he put it into a truck with stock exhaust, a 5.3 and a stock intake, and the thing was horrible. Just plain ran horrible. Every cam is specific. If you got your specifics, you can call me. I can go over it. You just got to make sure the bigger the cubic inch, the bigger the cam you can get away with and still have some drivability on the street, but they're all different. I like making square motors. I've talked to you guys about that before. Horsepower and torque the same. That seems to work extremely well on a street strip deal. And people are really, really happy, and the fuel economy is reasonable. Personal drag cars. I sold my Hemi Cuda for drag cars. I sold my 62 Maxi. I don't drag race anymore. I don't really do anything. I'll go with customers to the track once in a while, like I'm going with tall guy type stuff. I prefer to kind of work with their stuff than to have my own stuff anymore. I just don't have time to go out and do this anymore. I just don't. Let's see. Street Outlaws, a real fun show. Yeah. So the Street Outlaw thing, we all know that that's completely staged. So when they had the first idea where it's just going to be on a chunk of highway and go crazy, and now they're all sponsored and everything else, I get it. It's the evolution of the story, and they have to continue to get bigger and better all the time. It's not real life, and people get off on watching it. But for most people, they can't possibly work that kind of car. They can't possibly pay that kind of number to get it working. And if they got it, they'd probably die in the first pass. So, you know, I don't know. Bleaching my eyes. Oh, yeah, I know. It's Minnesota, dude. It's freaking cold here. We got no sun. It's dark almost all the time. The only place crazier is like, well, the Canada guy knows it's dark all the time. Oh, yeah. And you're welcome for the spring compressor. I hope that works okay. And remember now, if I get that boat, you're coming over. Can you build a rally truck? I want to go off-roading fast. Sure, I can build you a rally truck. I need to know what the rules are and the class you're going to be in. And once you give me that, we'll talk about what we're going to do and make it work for you. That's not a big deal. We just need to know what we're doing. Downsides of having a Camaro SS. Well, they're expensive and they're heavy. And that's about it. A pretty good car, really. Took them like that same chassis from 2002 to get it worked out in 2010 where it actually freaking worked at all. God help us. What are some of the downsides of having? Oh, yeah, that was the same thing I just brought up. Sorry. Input. Great job. Thank you, Mercury Marauder, 289. I have a cam, my LS3 Corvette, because drivability is nice. Hellcats are great because boost plus drivability are best. The LS3 cam in the Corvette works really well. Okay, so you've seen my video on camshafts and cylinder heads. I particularly talked about the LS3 head. It's a great cylinder head. You end up being, for street type use, I do like a 226, 233, 6 1/4, 6 1/4. And then we got to talk about, I guess I put it on a 113 and that car would rip. And I don't mean just a little bit. I mean like scary ass freaking fast rip. Oh, Mexico, how you doing? My Spanish is out. 98 Mustang V6 to get a 11 GT500. Perfect. What I want to know is there any information mods I can do to my 4 V6 to make it a little more peppy? No, you did the best thing ever. You bought an 11 GT 500. Your V6 has got to be used as a commuter. You can put a cold air into it. I have modified those before. We put $6,000 into it for this old engineer guy, and it still is just as fast as a stock V8. So boat engines, Ryan, you bet. Boat engines are awesome, but you got to know what you're dealing with. Boats are much different than cars. First of all, cars don't float. But beside that, we have to know what's going on with what you're trying to do. The big thing about a boat engine is they want to go up to a certain RPM when you're wide open and run there forever. So spring pressures are very important. Camshaft design is paramount. You cannot have a cam that wants to peak at 6,500 because it will not get out its own way down at 2,000 or 2,500 when you're trying to get the boat up on plane. Makes a huge difference. I did twin 383s for a Pachanga, and then we hit them with nitrous over the top with surface drives, and they worked extremely well. But the camshafts were fairly small, and they pulled like a bastard, and they made 550 per side counter rotating. Worked really good. Really good. Choice for a budget race car build, NA and forced induction, 10,000 or less. If you're going with drag racing, the little Fox, you can pick up a Fox, pretty much done for close to that 10 grand. I would do that. Fox Mustang. Usually the guy will have 25 grand into it, and he's selling it for like 10 grand because his wife is going to divorce his ass. So that's my number one because they're inexpensive. Parts are easy to get, and they really work really well. They can be made to hook and leave. The wheel can be expected from an 0957 Challenger with cam and a cam and a charger. I can make 500, 525 stick, 500 wheel with automatic. And that's all the farther I push them. They'll make more with the, you don't need, actually you don't have to do the camshaft either. But the 2.3 charger on top of that, that's what they'll make. Otherwise, I break them. I can make more. But when you call me up and tell me the transmission's all over the ground, I go, that'll happen. I have a lean code on my 5.4 2-valve supercharged, but there's no signs of why, and it runs great. Should I tune around it? No, no, no. You got to figure out why it's giving you a lean code. Look for exhaust leaks. Look for if it's one side or the other side. I mean, you got to tell me more information about that. Do not tune around a lean code. Don't do it. All you're going to do is have a problem sooner or later. There's something going on here, lunatic. You got to get it figured out right. If you can't do it, send it to me. I'll figure it for you. Put it on the dyno. We'll get it worked out. Charger 392 with the 8-speed transmission. Well, easiest, of course, is just put a supercharger 2.3 L block on the top, and that'll make all the power and then some. Once again, we limit those to like 5 PSI, and they make 625 horse at the crank, about 500 wheel. They live a long and happy life. If you push them too far, they live a short and happy life. Or happy life, but it's short. Let's see. Hellcat OEM cam, good in a 5.7 with a blower. You don't need to do the cam if you're doing the blower. Don't bother. You're gonna be limited by the amount of air you can make before you detonate the crap out of it. It works just fine with a stock camshaft. You don't have to replace it. Don't do it. Don't care. Do you build Hondas? I don't. Little light of me. Oh, no, not a Honda guy. I'm so busy with American Iron. People ask me all the time to do import cars. I love import cars. I'm just not. When you do 1,000 cars, you kind of look around and go, yeah, I think I know what's going to happen on 1001. When you take something on right away, something like that, I'd just be guessing.
Some guy was so mad last week. He put a comment on one of your videos and said you were talking shit about Hondas.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, a guy was mad about the Honda comment. I don't think shit.
Ever said anything bad about Honda?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I just don't know. If I don't know how to do something, I'll flat out tell you, man, I do not know how to do something. You know, it's like, yeah, sounds cool. Think about Hondas and Toyotas and things like that with small cubic inch motors. I mean, you got to work them. They'll make power. It's like a 125 YZ motorcycle. They'll make power, but you got to work the piss out of them to get it to do it. I just going to take a 632 big block Chevy and work the thing at 5,500 RPM and rip every tire into little shreds all over the place on 87 pump octane. It's just because it's 632 cubic inches versus like 100. Air pump, baby. Shop guy put a smoke machine on it, found no leaks. I just can't figure it out for the life of me. All right, so data log it and send me the file. How many times have I taken Tall Guy's Hellcat for a joyride? I don't do that. It's not my car. I'm just not going to do that. I've driven all kinds of fast stuff around, and you know, it's his car. I will do some road work with his car when we get the thing all stripped down to make sure it hooks okay. It can be tough to do in the cold out here, but I got to make sure it runs properly and doesn't pop any lights for him because we know he doesn't do that. Mason, let me know if it works. Mason, get off my channel. God. Can you super tune the Super Duty gassers? If you're talking about the diesels, no, you already have turbos. You don't need help. Yeah, Lunatic, you got to figure out where that, why it's given a lean code someplace. If it's a bad O2 or whatever, but just see what's going on. Mustang GT 2000, could you run blower cams without the blower? Be cammed and add centrifugal. You're right back. That's centrifugal shit. Yes, you can. They run really, really well. They just don't have the sound most people want with the overlap of a stage 2 cams I do for normally aspirated stuff. They work really well. Little tamer, and they don't quite make the top end power till you put boost to them. And what are some good engine cooling methods? You know, the best thing is just to make sure you've got a thermostat in with a couple small holes drilled in it and a big cooling system. We've been using the waterless Evans waterless cooling stuff for the race car guys. That seems to work okay, but it's damn expensive. I fix motorcycles. The only motorcycles I work on are the Boss Hosses because they're all small block Chevy or LS powered stuff. I've done a bunch of those. I put some special tie downs on my dyno to do those so I could actually work them on the dyno. They're a handful to try to dyno up, man. Those things are freaking all over the place. I knew right away when I drove one of those almost 15 years ago. I made it down the block with one, and I knew right there I didn't want one. In my opinion, the engineering is a little poopy. Let's see. Basic bolt-ons. I can do my 11 GT500 besides exhaust and headers. I was thinking smaller pulley, maybe cam. No cams. No cams. Does not need cams. You're going to end up doing upper and lower pulley, and long tubes help quite a bit, and they'll make 750 to 800 horse, 675 wheel, and that's all the car can handle. That's as fast as you're going to go. But they're complete kits. Talk to the people at JLT and Metco. They make complete kits for your car. They will tell you exactly what's going to happen, and I can install them. You can install them, whatever makes you happy. It's not a big deal. Fuel systems, you don't even have to upgrade them. Injectors are plenty big, and so are the pumps, up to about 750. Thank you, Edgardo. Have a good day yourself. Do a German build. You know, I've thought about that. If the wife isn't looking, I'd do her twin turbo V12, but she's gonna find out eventually that I'm in deep shit. So we're not gonna do that. G35 build. Nope. Back to the I do American cars. I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy with that. I could probably do a G35, and then something would break, and then somebody would be pissed. If you like all the mods Tall Guy did on his Hellcat, would you just recommend keeping it stock from your mechanic standpoint? I don't like the exhaust. It's way too loud. The drive shaft is way heavy, so the drive shaft is kind of an okay thing for me. The wrap, it's kind of pretty. I guess we're okay there. I would do the pulley just like he did. I would leave the manifolds on it. I would keep it quieter. The cold air is a good choice. You know, if I get a red eye, I'll do all the documents. What I'm going to do, mostly I'm going to take a bunch of weight out of the car and pulley it up a little bit and put great big effing tires on it. Really big tires. Not diesel, Super Duty, the 6.7 gas engine. Oh, sorry about that. You know what? I've never worked on one of those. It's just not my bag of tricks. I do all the stuff in cars and I do some trucks, but I've never worked on a 6.7. Drop it off. I'll give it back to you in about 2-3 weeks, and I guarantee it'll be a lot happier. Shop do email tuning for all the Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. Also, do you just Diablo Sport or just do HP tuners? I have all the software for EFI Live, Diablo Sport, HP, everybody else on the planet. I don't do anything by remote control email tunes because they're never perfect. I want them on my dyno, with my printout, so I know when you leave here with your truck, car, whatever you got, that is perfect. Because if something goes wrong 3 years down the line, you call me up and go, hey, man, the tune fell out of my car. Nope. It was perfect 3 years ago when it left, so you got some kind of mechanical issue. It's not in the tune. The tune does not change. What's more difficult to change, upper or lower pulleys? The lower is always a pain in the ass. But you need to – it's better for the belt wrap issue to run the bigger lower, and then if you want to change the upper to a smaller one, that's work that out. But look on that website for those guys at Medco. They've got all the pulleys and what they make for extra boost and horsepower on those things. It's real helpful. They're good people too. So give them a call and they can set you up with a complete deal on that. But you will need a tune. A lot of guys are doing those. John something or other, Ford guy does it. Casey does all of our Ford tuning here, but once again, I only do it here. Okay, what else we got? Maybe I answered everybody's questions. Hello, everybody. Hello, Brazil. Canada. Anybody? Anybody? All right. I guess I'm going to sign off for the day. I've got enough stuff going on. I got people coming in. It's 20 to 2. I'm going to meander out. I appreciate everybody's comments today. And if you need anything, you can always reach me, 763-712-9088. 6 days a week, and it's Bart at High Tech Motorsport, no S on the end.com. Have a good day, guys.
That was good.